I'm so glad Barack had rocked for 2 terms. Now I don't even have to ask, when will you learn? Of inflated paychecks, very few earn. Why the youth yearn for liberation? All they get is a new germ, a new cell, a new bullet, or a new erm. Every new term, we get a spider or a snake or some new worm. I spit the truth so raw it make you squirm. F it, let the truth burn like a new perm.
Right, welcome back to X-Rays Podcast. I'm your host, Tavares X. We have an amazing show today. Very excited, pumped up about it. It's going to be real quick, though. We're going to hit them hard and lay them down and get out of here real quick. But as you see by the title of the show, proof that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught Salat in Message to the Black Man. That's the title. We're going to jump in and out of there real quick. So if you're a defender of the faith, you're a defender of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I want you to share this video, because we're going to put an end to all the naysayers, right? So like and subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this through Facebook Medium, I want you to click on the 3 dots in the right-hand corner and open it up. It'll either say open it in your browser, or it may say open up in YouTube. Either or, click that and then like, subscribe, and just share, because we're going to put a nail in this coffin, right? So before we get started, say a quick prayer. In the name of Allah, who appeared in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, can never thank him enough for leaving in our midst the exalted Christ, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and in his absence, leaving a divine reminder in our midst, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who the world will soon come to know as the Messiah. Right? Assalamu alaikum to the audience. And like I said, it's going to be a great show. It's going to be really quick, but it's going to be powerful. Right? So the first thing, get you a message to the black man. Right? Order you a copy. Go to NOI.org if you don't presently have one, and order you a copy of this incredible landmark book right here. Right? And first we're going to start off on page 144. Right? 144. Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad reads this. He says, he's stretching. Oh, before I even go into this, just to give you a backdrop, quick backdrop, there are many that accuse the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan of leading the Nation of Islam into Orthodox Islam. Like, that's what they say. You know, we're not against Orthodox Muslims, Orthodox Islam. That's not our position. Our position in the why is this, is that Allah gives different ways of devotion to the people during their particular time, right? So what that means is, if you read Bible and Quran, you will see that Abraham had a specific way of devotion, right? That differed than Moses' way of devotion, you know, and it goes on and on. Noah had a different way of devotion, you know, that was different than Abraham's, right? So that's just you see that pattern on and on, so forth with Jesus and then Prophet Muhammad. Like, Allah gives different ways of devotion, right? In other words, he prescribes medicine according to the people's particular sickness at that particular dispensation and time, right? Which makes sense, of course. That's why you have different messengers of God, you know, or else we wouldn't need different people, right? You just have one book and say, here, you know, solve your problem with this one book. But that's not how God works, you know. So Allah sends you a person with a particular message catered specifically for your particular ills. So in our case, in the why, we say that Allah sent us the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad with a specific prescription of medicine that deals with our 400 years of enslavement, right? So we're not against Orthodox Muslims. I don't want you to take that position. It's just that what they had was for them, their time in Arabia, right? So we have a different way of devotion, right? We read from the same book, but Allah gave us more insight into his revelation, right? Because of what we went through in slavery, we needed a stronger dosage of truth. So the Orthodox have the Holy Quran, but they don't have the innermost meaning. So according to the Quran, Allah waits, to a specific time, the end of time, the end of the wicked's rule, and then he releases this truth, to the public right before judgment comes down. So we have some quote unquote strictly Elijah people, some people that say that the minister is changing the teachings and we don't listen to Minister Farrakhan. We only go strictly by Elijah Muhammad. You have these types that say that. So this show is just to show on this particular matter that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is 100% correct in his position in terms of teaching us Salat and, other things. I made a show earlier about observing Ramadan with the Orthodox world, proving that point. But this show right here would just be specifically about making Salat. Salat is a word for prayer. It's the Arabic word for prayer in Islam, right? So it's a specific manner that we were taught to pray, right? So Prophet Muhammad developed the prayer system over over a 23-year period, I should say. I'm not exact date, but he didn't start them off with this particular style of prayer from the beginning. It developed, and you have different positions and postures, right? And each position is symbolic and it has meaning behind it, in terms of helping our spirituality. So that principle, that Prophet Muhammad of Arabia 1400 years ago put into motion, we in the Nation of Islam, we practice that. But the messenger did it slowly. He didn't, make us do Salat. He would just have us stand up and hold our hands out as if we're about to receive a gift. Like if you ever been a guest to the mosque, that's the procedure. We ask those to stand, facing the east, and you hold your hands out like you're about to receive a gift. And that's how we pray inside the mosque. But the messenger did write a book on prayer, and he taught on Salat, on how to make Salat. So, this will happen throughout the different mosques throughout America, but it just wasn't strongly enforced, I guess, or, strictly that this is the way you have to do it all the time. So because of that, people misconstrue the fact that the messenger did teach Salat, right? So then they might come up with the excuse that he wrote it in the book, but that book was written in 1957. He wrote a book called, I believe it's called Daily Prayers, Muslim Daily Prayers. It was written in 1957, and then he wrote a book, another book, or Supreme Wisdom 1 and 2, where he spoke on prayer. And that also was written in 1957. But Message to the Black Man is written in 1965, and that is, I don't want to say Bible, but it is a very, very important writing in the Nation of Islam. So I just wanted to give those some backdrop about the controversy, I should say, right? So again, we're going to start on page 144 in Message to the Black Man. And this is how people misconstrued it, right? Because it says this: he stretches forth his hand while standing as erect as a soldier before his captain at attention, right? So based off that right there, people took that as to say, you see, the messenger never went through all the motions of Salat of, bowing and prostrating while doing the prayers on the prayer rug like the rest of the Muslim world does. They said, see, you stand erect before your captain, right? I want you to keep those two words in mind, place emphasis on that. Let me read it. He stretches forth his hand while standing as erect as a soldier before his captain at attention, right? So now, as I go further into the prayer section of Message to the Black Man, you will see a picture unfold, right? So now we jump to page 150, right? Page 150 of Message to the Black Man, the prayer section. And the messenger says this. Again, he says, with his cleansed hands open, with the palms towards the Holy Land and cities, he signifies an open confession of his internal purity and entire submission to the will of Allah God. Right? Now, look at this. He says, with his cleansed hands open, with the palms towards the Holy Land and cities. Right? So that's not a position like this, what you holding your hands out like you about to receive a gift, because then your palms will be facing up to the sky. That's not what the messenger said. The messenger said, with your palms, right? He says, with the palms towards the Holy Land and cities, right? So that's a different position. Now, as we read this, we go to a page 149 now, right? Page 149. Like I said, it's going to be real quick. This section is the different positions taken in prayer, right? Positions. Notice that. That's plural. Positions, not just one. Not just standing erect with your hands open like you're about to receive a gift. He said positions. So again, he starts off standing erect. Those are the key words. Standing erect to address our superior is proper. And again, it shows respect and honor. The raising of the hands with the palms open in the same direction shows an act of surrender to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and is coming before him with clean and empty hands. Ooh. So remember, he said in the same direction, meaning the east. The palms is up in the east, so your hands got to be facing the same direction that your face is facing, right? According to that. So to prove my point, we stay on the same page, right? 149 at the very bottom, the last sentence, the very last sentence, the messenger, he clarifies it now openly. He says, standing upright with his face towards his holy city, right? Standing upright. That's a key word again. That's like the same thing as standing erect. Standing upright with his face towards the holy city, which is in the direction of sunrise. He lifts his cleansed hands up beside his head, with the thumbs towards the lobes of his ears, and declares that Allah is the greatest 4 times, and that nothing deserves to be worshipped but Allah. You see that? Now that right there tells you that that's a prayer in Salat. Your palms by your ear. See, that's a position in Salat. You know, not standing with your hands out like you about to receive a gift, right? So the messenger, he says it over and over, right? He keeps saying the same thing. You jump to page 148. And the messenger says at the top, the washing of the hands that are subject to the handling of clean and unclean things, they are cleansed to be spread before Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Right? So he's saying you spread out your hands, you spread them out. That same page 148, again, the messenger says he stands erect. Right? You keep reading. With his face and body towards the rising of the sun in the direction that the earth is rotating, in all the planets. In this direction, his holy city of Mecca, the only holy place on the earth, from this direction do we look for Allah God and his angels to come to judge the world. Now this is the key part right here. He says he lifts his open hands with his thumbs pointing towards his earlobes. He says Allah is the greatest twice, right? Now, when you look at certain pictures of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you see him doing a similar position. He's doing a similar position, right? And he has his hands alongside his face, and it's like he's saluting. It's like he's saluting, but the posture of his hands, to me, right, in my opinion, right, I'm not saying this is absolute, but you notice a difference to the way he's holding his hand as he salutes. It's not like, a soldier does straightforward. You see it kind of like, the thumb by the earlobes, right? So to me, it's almost as if he's, saluting Allah, or he's recognizing the superior. Because remember, he said standing before a superior in one part, and the other part he said, or as a captain, standing before your captain, right? So Allah is definitely our superior, so that fits. So when we go to page 37, again, you see the same page, 137. He says standing erect, right? Because remember, that's how he started off, standing erect. He says standing erect with face towards the east, with hands raised and declaring to the one God, Allah, that he has turned himself to Allah, the originator of the heavens and earth. This prayer and positions are specially designed and worded for those lost sheep, the so-called Negroes who have been lost from the knowledge of their God and people, and now declare that they are turned again to their God, Allah, and are upright to him. So you see that? He's saying that the prayer service that was started by Prophet Muhammad of Arabia, right, in that area of our planet, Mecca, Arabia, he's saying that prayer service, even though it initiated with them, that is perfect for the black man and woman here in North America. You see, because we are lost from our home. That's a place of origin. All over there in the media, I know you've heard that, we're from Africa, and that that's our place of origin, and that Mecca is for white Arabs or what have you. But that's just what the media portrays and what they might show you in school and on television. But the truth is, if you study if you study history in that area, right, and if you study not archaeology, I'm sorry, it's the thought is escaping me. I forget the exact word, the field of study, but when you study history, they tell you that the people originally in that land were dark people, right? Whether it's the etymology of the word, if you want to study the etymology of the language of Arabia and its culture, you will see that dark people inhabited that land, right? All of that, including Africa, too, Northern Africa. Like, really, is nothing separating Mecca and Africa except the canal right there, the Suez Canal, right, which is man-made. They dug that canal. Otherwise, it was a strip of land that connected it, actually. So, that's nothing far-fetched, even if you never heard this before, to think that we inhabited it, Mecca, Medina, Ethiopia, Egypt, like all of that region right there was inhabited by black people, right? So it's saying that we were kidnapped and taken into slavery and everything, and now we lost our way. Like, we don't remember that was our home too. We just think that Africa was our home and that's it, but really all of that was our home. And because our history was taken from us and the knowledge of who we are, we're lost. So the prayer system that the messenger is teaching us, he's saying, is perfect because we turn back to the east. We turn back to the direction of the holy people, where most of the prophets of the last 6,000 years came from. Those holy lands over there, from Mecca to Jerusalem, all over there centered in the east. So we're turning back. We're turning back to our people and our way of life, our original way of life. So he's saying the prayer service is perfect for us, actually. When the naysayers just say we supposed to stand erect and not make salat, but you heard it firsthand from the messenger himself, right? And that was on page 37, right? So just the fact that he talks about cleansing your hands and ablution itself tells you that he's speaking about salat, because you don't wash up, at the end of a service in the Y, like at the end of our gatherings, our meetings. You may ask the audience to stand, and hold your hands out like you're about to receive a gift and say a prayer, but we don't run to wash up. So that's how you know he's speaking about salat, because that's when you do ablution, right? So just while we're here, and basically we're done, but I just wanted to also add a couple more things, right? The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad on page 138, right, the bottom of the second paragraph, he mentioned the egg gatherings, right? Egg gatherings he mentioned, right? And he also he talked about like the prayer service, that you could do a personal, like make your prayers, just in private or yourself, or a gathering with the Islamic community itself, right? So he says that this congressional prayer is a good thing because it promotes brotherhood, and it also takes away the class systems, from rich and the poor, right? So he just mentions he talks about you skip down to the bottom, and he talks about a king and a poor man. He says, nay, the king or rich man standing in a back row will have to lay his head, prostrating himself before God at the feet of a slave or a beggar standing in the front. There could be no more leveling influence in the world. Differences of rank, wealth, and color vanish within the mosque, and quite a new atmosphere, an atmosphere of brotherhood, equality, and love, totally different from the outside world, prevails within the holy precincts. Right? So just the fact that he talked about bowing at the feet, because you practicing with a group of people. So again, he shows you about bowing down. And the last example I'll give right before we get on up out of here is page 152. Right, page 152. This is still the prayer service, but this particular section is knowledge of prayer, right? And the messenger says this. We could drop the mic after this. He says he washes his face, his hands, and all the exposed parts of his body before going to prayer. Never before has he done such under the cross of Christianity, prostrating himself with his shoes off and his forehead kissing the rug or the bare earth in praises and humble submission to the will of Allah God. Ooh, right there. I know what some of you, the naysayers, may say, oh, he talking about the Muslims over there, but as you can see, he mentioned Christianity. So that's how you know he's really referring to black people here in North America that once practiced Christianity. He says he washes his face, his hands, that's the ablution I spoke of earlier, and all the exposed parts of his body before going to prayer. Never before has he done such under the cross of Christianity, prostrating himself, that means bowing down, prostrating, with his shoes off and his forehead kissing the rug or the bare earth in praises and humble submission to the will of Allah God. And that's message to the black man right there. So, like I said, if you like defending the faith, you like defending Minister Farrakhan, like, subscribe. If you're watching this in Facebook, like I said, it's the 3 dots in the corner. Hit that dot, open it up in your browser, open it up in YouTube, and just like and share, because we going to put this argument to rest that the minister is taking us off the course that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad put us on to take us, backwards 1,400 years ago in the past. No, sir. the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is following the instructions of his spiritual father, and as a good student that he is, he's carrying out the orders and instructions. So yes, he taught us a lot, following in the footsteps of his father, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So all those that's not practicing Salat, it is you that's in deviation. It is you that's off the course and off of the path, right? So for the newcomers, those that's new to Islam, please don't allow for these naysayers and quote unquote strictly Elijah people to take you off of your square, with innuendos and rumors and lies. Because as we see directly from the words of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Salat is designed, even though it was initiated by Prophet Muhammad and the Arabs of that land back then, it was tailor-made, because you got to recall or think that Allah sees down the line of time. You see, even though something that was practiced 6,000 years ago has relevance to us now, there are certain principles that are immutable, certain stories, right, that you will repeat itself over and over, and it's applicable to this time. So we see that with the prayer service. It's tailor-made. I didn't go into the whole prayer system itself. I just wanted to touch on that basic position. And the pictures say it all. So like I said, we see beyond doubt that ministers put us on the right path. So like I said, if you like this content, I'll bring you much more into the teachings, and just keep studying, and may Allah guide us all with the light of understanding. Assalamu alaikum. Also, out of the spirit of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the instructions that he gave to us as a nation, one of the most important instructions he gave was to do for self. And what that means is for us to be an independent nation and provide for ourselves, an economy, education, and just govern us all together. So in the spirit of that, I like to introduce to the community an artist known here in the northern New Jersey area, known as Christopher Muhammad. And he has created a series of paintings called Americas, right? And in this series, it targets the youth, maybe from 2nd grade to 4th or 5th grade. And as you can see, these paintings are awesome imagery, and it shows positive messages in the paintings. I like to call it the gift that keeps on giving, because every time you look at it, you see something that you didn't see prior to. So that would be a great lesson for the children, because as they grow in life and experience life, they'll be able to get more and more out of the paintings that they see on their wall every day. So it just keeps on giving. It's very inexpensive. It makes for good birthday presents or baby showers or housewarming gifts, whatever the case may be. The price of it is $20, right, for a print. $20, and the size is 13 by 18. If you live in a different part of the country, the shipping and handling will be $7. If you buy 2 or more items, it'll be an additional 50 cents for each item. So like I said, you can't beat it. In the description box, I'll put my Facebook handle, just in case you want to inbox me for further information regarding the paintings. Or, like I said, you could comment here in the comment section, and we'll get in touch that way. But they hotcakes, I say get them now, because they about to start flying off the shelves, and you're gonna see them all around. My wish, my hope is to see Americans on the walls of black people's homes, just like back in the 70s, where every home you went to had those psychedelic posters. We had like zodiacs And every household you went to, they had those paintings on the walls. So to me, this makes much more sense because it's dealing with our upliftment. You know that Zodiac painting was all about psychedelic drugs and foolishness like that. So, like I said, Americans, make that a part of your household, and you won't be disappointed. And lastly, I wanted to share to you the number. Each painting has a number that you could order from the catalog. As you see there, you could screenshot it. That way you could zoom into it and look at the order number, and you could better order them easier in that fashion by going through the catalog. So like I said, enjoy, and I'll be hearing from you soon.